Hey everyone! Hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to Reddit Stories, where we have 2 incredible stories with comments. If you are new to this channel, a sub would be great. Tap that notification bell. Let's jump right in. My birth parents who bailed on me are flaunting my success around town. How do I get them to go away without bringing attention to them or to me? Hi, my brother, a year older than me, and I were products of my mother's many extramarital affairs. I was 4 years old when my mother took off with my brother and left me with the neighbors. My dad was not equipped to be a parent, so I went into foster care. I stayed there until I found out who and where they were at age 18. I read the court papers, and the reason given was abandonment. They just didn't want me. My childhood was horrific. I learned later that my father maintained contact with my mother and brother. Ironically, I have always lived 30 minutes away at most from my birth parents in the same state. After I turned 20, I reached out to my birth parents. My father remarried and was not keen on seeing me because he said it would upset his new family. My mother had more children, and I believe, forgot about me. I contacted both of them, and I never heard back from either of them. Until now. I've been in the media a lot. For good reasons, not anything bad. I guess I put all my anger into music and became well known as a member of a popular band. My friends that know my story told me that my birth parents have been bragging about me and taking credit for my talent and my successes. Magically, my mother's side of the story is that I was cruelly ripped from her and forced into foster care. And my father said he was a puppet of the court system's injustice against fathers and never had the opportunity to get custody of me. They are talking non-stop to the media about how my musical talent came from them, and that I wouldn't be where I am in my career if not for them. They like to mention that I've shut them out, and they deserve to share in my fame. It's utter nonsense, and honestly, it makes me sick to hear them brag about someone that they abandoned as a young child. I blocked contact after they wanted things from me, like money and tickets to my concerts. This media gossip spreads quickly, and I'm sick of being whispered about. I don't want any part of them. I just want to be left alone. The media is pressuring me to have some big family reunion, so they can cover it. If I contact my birth parents, it's like I am ignoring all my years abandoned in foster care. The media is not going to let this go. I am going to have to confront them at some point. Any advice? Let's head to the comments. The nerdy one says, I think the best solution is to get your story out there. Tell people about your struggles in foster care. People aren't stupid. They'll put 2 and 2 together. Your parents' recollection of how things are will quickly fall apart. You have such an inspirational and positive story to tell. Not only will you inspire people to not let early life circumstances dictate their future, but your story will also shine the light of truth about your lying, dysfunctional parents. Sooner or later, the stories will get around town, and people will notice the conflicting accounts. Truth will win out, and your parents will be revealed for the pathetic liars that they are. Golden Wave says, Man, I'm sorry for your hard childhood. Your mom and dad don't deserve to be associated with you. You tried once to see them, and they refused. I wish they weren't the kind of people looking for a handout, but they are. Why would they seek out media attention if they didn't want to manipulate you and guilt you into reconciling with them? They are using the media to extort money from you. Maybe they think that you'll give them money to go away? I see 2 choices you could make. You either stay silent and the media will think you have something to hide, or share your truth, which has its own consequences. You can honestly state that you were raised through foster care because your biological parents made different choices, and you worked your way up from nothing. no support, no family, no money. And now, you are an accomplished musician. Be factual. You can't stop your parents from sharing their recollection of your childhood, false as it is. But the power is on your side. You can share your story, which will motivate so many disadvantaged young people. You're the author of your story. Yes, the media cares about gossip, but your story is so much more powerful than how desperate your parents have shown themselves to be. Our next story is, am I the idiot for kicking my future brother-in-law out of my wedding for what he did to my kids? A little family background. My sister met her fiancé, Tim, 2 years ago. I am divorced, but found a great lady, and we are getting married. I have 2 wonderful children, ages 4 and 6. Tim doesn't like children, and he's made it very clear how much he's uncomfortable being around them. Every time I brought my children to my sister's house, Tim always looked annoyed and made snarky comments. He even went as far as to try and ban the kids from visiting their grandparents' house. Go figure. And Tim always tried to find reasons to exclude my kids from family events. My fiancé and I want to have our wedding at our house, a small outdoor celebration. Tim asked if there were going to be children at the wedding. I told him that my children were the only ones included in the wedding ceremony. As expected, he tried to talk us out of having children at the wedding. Make it adults only. But I told him to keep his opinions to himself. My kids were very excited to be part of the wedding, and there would be no wedding without my kids. End of story. On the day of the wedding, Tim and my sister arrived late. My guess is that he didn't want to see kids running around. My children were just hanging out with us before lunch arrived. Tim looked visibly anxious, but he offered to take the kids to the bathroom to wash up before eating. Minutes later, he came back. I asked him, where were the kids? He said he took them to their bedroom because they asked to play with their toys. That didn't sound right. I wanted to check on them, but got distracted by some wedding details. About an hour later, my younger sister found me and frantically said that the kids' bedroom door was locked and the kids were inside, crying. My fiancé and I were in shock. Tim said he locked the door because he was worried they'd wander around unsupervised and wanted to make sure they were safe since everyone was busy with wedding stuff. I unlocked the door and got the kids out. My daughter was sobbing and said that Tim told them that I didn't want them at the wedding and that I'd punish them if they came outside. I lost it and called him a cruel, pathetic, and selfish psycho for locking my kids up to exclude them from the wedding. I threw him out. My sister tried to defend him, so I kicked her out too. My parents jumped in. They loved Tim for some reason and said what I did was unnecessary since Tim was just trying to help. They insisted that this was a major misunderstanding since Tim is a great guy, but he isn't so good dealing with kids. I told them to stop making excuses for his psycho, twisted behavior. I watched Tim and my sister practically running down the driveway. There was no way that moron was going to ruin our wedding. My children walked me down the aisle, and it was a perfect day. I decided to go no contact with my family for a while so I can focus on my wife and kids. Am I the idiot for kicking out my future brother-in-law because of a, quote, misunderstanding that was protecting my children by locking them in a room? Let's head to the comments. This Olympian says, this family is nuts. Your brother-in-law, and he's not officially your brother-in-law yet, led away 2 young children who were only 4 and 6. He told them their presence was unwanted, put them in their bedroom, and locked the door so they couldn't get out. Then he lied to the children's parents about what happened. None of that is okay. The guy's behavior is outrageous. And it is incredibly worrisome that your parents are actually defending him. I'd love to hear their defense of this guy. I wonder what dirt he has on them? Jocksome13 says, hold on. This guy came to your house, got your kids, and locked them in their room? Do we even need to say not the idiot? Ban this man from your house. Ban your sister if necessary. And for those who tell you that you are overreacting, well, try to remain calm, dude. This is beyond not liking children. This is cruel and dangerous. Your brother-in-law-to-be is dangerous to have around. Ask your sister if this is the kind of man she wants to have in your family. I understand not being into hanging around kids, but this seems like there's something else going on here with his behavior. Some underlying reason why he would lie to you. Really, really strange. And not the idiot at all. No contact sounds like your only reasonable choice. Hey Code Karen community, what would you do in this situation? I'd love to hear your comments. See you in the next story.